Benny Hinn. He is the televangelist who you have seen, who says he can touch you and he can cure your cancer. He can cure your blindness. He can make you hear again. He can cure all that ails you and in the process make $42 million for himself.
I was as sick as a sick dog.
Not 2 million, but 42 million. Not 1 million, but 42 million, including a $36 million jet.
Private jet.
So this guy was jetting into Los Angeles International Airport with a bunch of bodyguards. Watch what happens.
That was the interesting thing. It's like, when was the last time you saw a preacher flanked by this video?
Well, let me put it to you this way.
5 giant men.
I would,
5.
if I were doing what he were doing, I'd have those guys guarding me too.
Allegedly.
Well, I'm saying
you
he
just
says
mean
he's curing.
Yes,
I mean, there are probably
profession.
some dissatisfied customers out there, I would think.
Some people running around with demons.
And maybe some are still alive. So here's what happened at the airport.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
World's greatest scammer, Benny Hinn.
What's his name, sir?
Benny Hinn, that's the world's greatest scammer.
Seriously?
Yes, he's been scamming people out of religious money for decades.
Come on.
He lives in my zip code in Newport Coast, California. He's the biggest scammer in the world. He gets people Social Security checks. They spend their life savings hoping that he can cure their cancer. Then when they're dead, he keeps the money.
How does that guy really feel about this?
This guy is amazing. I mean, he tells it like it is. But what I love most about this guy is that, you know, he's at the airport too. He's probably got so much other stuff going on, travel plans. He's tired, but he still takes the time to call out Benny and sit there, and that pisses him off more than the airport. The fact that Benny Hinn is scamming everybody.
He kind of has a point. I mean, Benny Hinn has been investigated by even the Senate. The Senate has investigated him because a lot of people have alleged exactly what the guy said, that he's taking money from people who die and continues to get their Social Security checks.
He says that he, you know, some of the money that he takes, he freely acknowledges it's not all going to charity, that some of it's lining his pockets and the pockets of his friends and family. And this guy has profited to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And yet people continue to give him money. Remember, he said that the world was going to end in the 90s, didn't. I think he said twice the world was going to end.
92 and 99, was it?
And with all of that...
He'll get it right eventually.
With all of that, Evan actually came up to me about an hour ago and said, I think this guy is awesome.
No, what I really meant to say was, do this. If people are stupid enough to send this guy money believing that he is an ambassador of God and will fix your problems, then you deserve to be bilked, and he deserves his $36 million jet, and if he can live with the shame, good for you. Even though he says he's a priest, he doesn't believe in God, because if he did, would he, you know, it's all whatever.
He would give the money back to his congregation.
He'd be living in a mansion on the cliffs of Malibu and flying around in his private jet.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the guy's been doing it, thing is, for years and years, and no, it's amazing. I mean, the station, he hasn't been yanked off the air. He's just going about his business, making money.
Hi, it's Sandra from Canada. Oh my gosh, and we were so worried about Jim and Tammy Baker. I know they weren't any better. But this guy clearly is the biggest fraud, and I think the guy in the airport was bang on. It was really quite funny.
By the way, the guy in the airport was a brave soul, too, because just a few months back, this guy's son, Hinn's son, and three of his bodyguards ended up, I believe they got arrested for allegedly beating up somebody, a deaf guy who came to one of his shows and came with a water bottle, and they thought he was too ominous, and they beat the crap out of him in a dressing room.
But wait a second, if you ask Benny's people what we did, they said that the gentleman was peacefully removed after his protest.
A few shows, Dateline, 60 Minutes, they've all done pieces on this guy and shown what a scam he is. And
I mean, anybody, I mean, he literally does the, you know, demons be gone thing, and when you see like an entire crowd of people like falling back, like, oh!
I mean, answer me this: why does he need 5 bodyguards?
This is from @Mrs. K Wiggins.
Benny is a scammer and a liar. Our calling is to love as Jesus loved, not deceive and glorify ourselves.
I have a religious question.
Something tells me Jesus would not be living in a giant mansion overlooking the Pacific.
Well, that's my religious question. Can somebody who is a man of God, who is supposedly out to help people, can somebody profit so handsomely that they become multi-millionaires many times over? Is that possible?
I think so.
Obviously, they can.
I think yes.
I thought they're supposed to give their money back to the church a certain amount and only
supposed to
keep
live
a certain
somewhat
percentage.
modestly, right?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being wealthy and making money off, like, you know, like telling people what they like, whatever.
By
But this
giving them
guy's
some
a
guidance, by
faker,
giving
and
them-
everybody knows it.
But how do you explain the people he touches and they go flying and all that?
How do you
is that a
explain
fraud?
it?
I mean, is that just people in his camp that just go flying for fun? I don't get it.
Well, they said they exposed him on these television shows, and they basically do it like they audition people, kind of like they choose people. They said like that are actually going to work.
So it's like a
with them.
reality show, basically.
Yeah,
They're choosing
it really
who's going to be
is.
the most dramatic person.
It really is like a reality show.
Okay.
Look at my eyes right here. Come, give me a close shot, will you? And look at these eyes. I have never lied to you. Never. I never will. I'd rather die than lie to God's people. Believe me when I tell you, I never get sick. Crying, Do you know we're what? rejoicing. Do you know what happened to me one day? I'm going to tell you. I was as sick as a sick dog with a cold. Yeah, I get sick too. I have never lied to you. Never. I never will. I'd rather die than lie to God's people. I never get sick. I was as sick as a sick dog